Hello, welcome to Monday Morning Matters live broadcast show brought to you by Magnicraft Consulting team, anchored by Niyi Dunmade, a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the U.S. Here, each Monday of every week, we address important, relevant, and actionable topics of interest that will help you and your church grow healthier. And now, meet your host, Niyi Dunmade.
Welcome, good morning to everyone. Welcome to this live broadcast show. I pray the internet just favors us this morning. We're having some fluctuations of internet here, but then in Nigeria it's rainy season. But my name is Niyi Dunmade, founder, CEO Magnicraft Consulting. Magnicraft Consulting. We have a Facebook page and a YouTube channel. Thank you for queuing up with us. We're so glad that you are part of this broadcast. As I said again, my name is Niyi Dunmade, the lead consultant, founder, CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. Magnicraft Consulting is a church consulting firm that helps churches grow healthier through empirical assessment, trainings, and strategic blueprints. I'm also a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the US. We do weekly broadcasts, so please check our Facebook page, check our YouTube channel. There are good resources that you're going to see there so that you can help yourself and your ministry or your church. All right, today we'll talk about part 3 of ways to increase church retention. Ways to increase church retention. Ways to increase church retention. Last part 1 and part 2, we had the first 7 of them. And then we want to just continue from there. If you have missed part 1, if you have missed part 2, please feel free to hook up to our page on Facebook and our channel on YouTube to get the. I'm not going to repeat it. Part 1 to 7, number 1 to 7 has been done, and so we're going to continue with 8, and then let's see how we get out to where we got to get in the next 10-15 minutes. Okay, so we also said that there are quite a lot of things that churches do to grow or to add numbers or to increase church attendance. We are saying that you should not get to the quadrant where you are doing the wrong things and you are not growing. Let's find a way of getting to do the right things and we are growing. Whether we are growing or we are not growing, we are actually doing the right things all the time. Whether you're a small church, a mid-sized church, or a large-sized church, you have to do what is right. And what is right when you are a small church is different from what is right when you are a mid-sized church, or what is appropriate when you are a large-sized church. So one of the foolish things that churches do is comparing themselves one to another, because they are all different. They are all different in terms of DNA, uniqueness, what God has called them to do. So, but what I want to say is, let us ensure that we are actually doing what God has called us to do. Let's do what God has called us to do. Mommy, Per, thank you for joining. Good morning. So let's do what God has called us to do, and let's stop comparing one another with ourselves as churches. Every church is unique. What church A would do in the community, another church in the globe, in the surface of the earth, cannot do it. And so we need to be very unique and peculiar in what we do by doing what is right, whether we are growing or we are not growing. And then we go on and on to say that one of the things that make churches grow is when there's a good front door and a less active back door. Okay, what I mean is that you have more people coming to the church, and of course good people that you can actually process coming into your front door, and then they are not leaving through the back door. And so that gives you a leverage to gain members or to gain attendance. But when you are going to lose members is when the back door is actually very, very active. And so I've seen churches who don't care at what happens at the back door. You can leave our church, you can go to hell, you can leave whatever it means, but you have to be cautious of what happens at the back door, because if you do not put your focus on the back door, you might find out that you are the only one that will be preaching your message to yourself one day. So the front door is good to have people to come with volumes into your church, but then your back door needs to be dealt with so that you don't lose people. You see, losing people is going to lose a lot of investment. You can imagine that you have discipled people for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, and all of a sudden they left the church for a reason that you should have been able to solve. And so let's see how the more attention we put on the front door, we put much more attention into the back door, doing the business well to make the gospel famous, and also make sure that people are deciding to follow Christ every day as the church exists. Every day as a church exists. And so we're going to move on fast so that we can go on. And then we also said that every church needs to understand their growth trends, okay, their frequency of attendance. The more you track these things, the more you can manage them. If you don't keep records, if you don't have a good track of what people, how people are attending your services, then you don't have a good management or grip. Once people know that you know that they are showing up in service, they will know that their absence will be felt. But when people's absence are not felt, what means is that people don't feel loved. And one of the things that we need to also get that is that the church should be a family. The church should be a communal life where when somebody is not in church, you should actually know that that person is not in church, and then reach out to the person to see how that person can get back to church. Okay? And then we move on to the continuation. The last point we had last Monday was to ensure that twice a year you have meaningful visitations to all your members. I don't care if your member is 1,000 or 100,000. I know some people ask me that as a church grows larger, how do you do meaningful conversation? Then you have to create a network of caregivers. In fact, if your church is 1,000, you alone cannot lead that church. You need a group of senior leadership team so that you do division of labor. Okay, if you have 1,000 people and you have 20 leaders, then you can break them into smaller bits to reach out to all these members twice a week. And I also say that if you're going to have twice a year visitation to your members, you must make sure that at least one of them must be a memorable, maybe it's a birthday or anniversary, so that communal life will be built in the church. That was the last point we had last week, Monday. And so we're going to go on number 8. Right fit, deploy appropriate, and involve more people into ministry areas. One of the things that I want to say here is that the church is driven by volunteers, and every leader who is supposed to be leading in the church must understand how to lead volunteers, because 80% of your church workload must be done by volunteers. You can't keep employing staff for every job function that the church wants to do. And so right fit is very, very key. Deploying appropriately, as in people in their right, putting round peg in round holes, square peg in square holes, involving people into ministry areas. Okay, I've seen churches who the volunteers actually release a lot of the workload on the staff because they are paid for it. And so because they are paid for it, come on, I need to rest, I have my life to live, I have my family to take care of. But we see, the more people get into ministry areas, the more they get fulfilled and the more God blesses them. One of the things I also want to say here is, in as much as I've said that every leader must understand how to do volunteer management, we also ensure that we also need to acknowledge that people are not constant. People change. So the fact that somebody is right fit for a position does not mean he's right fit for that position forever. Okay? Some people are bigger than their position. Some people are not up to their position, but there must be deployment that is appropriate, that makes people to be involved in all the ministry areas in the church. Number 9, adequately plan, schedule, and implement more special Sundays. Anytime you have a meeting in church, we must make it special. Why? Because God comes in that meeting. Bible says, where 2 or 3 are gathered in His name, He is there in their midst. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in His name, He is there in their midst. And so for God to be in that meeting, for God to be dwelling in that service, in that worship service, in that Sunday worship service, it means that that meeting is special. Okay? That meeting is special. You can imagine if the president of my country is going to a meeting, you could see the preparation. You could see all the dots being done, the T's being crossed, because the president of a country is coming to the meeting. And so when we are doing our Sunday meetings, let's have that mindset with the mindset to plan adequately, that meeting is special because God is there. God is there. Now, one of the things I also want to add here before I go to the last point is that we need to understand that we need to schedule in such a way that there are white spaces on the calendar. The people who come to your church have families. The people who come to your church have work to do. And so you need to genuinely love them. You need to genuinely love their time. Value their time. If you're going to spend 7 hours in the church, let them know that you value their time, and the 7 hours or the 3 hours or the 30 minutes that they've spent or given to you is actually judiciously spent to improve their lives. Okay, so adequately plan, have white spaces on your calendar, and schedule to implement more special Sundays, because every Sunday, every meeting that God comes into that meeting is a special one. And because it's a special one, it's going to make people to be blessed by His presence. The last one, and then I will wrap up for today. Seek advanced commitment, contribution, and participation in worship service, in the church. Okay, when somebody knows that I'm going to contribute this quota, I'm committed to ushering, I'm committed to singing, I'm committed to taking a solo, I'm committed to doing this, that, making sure that sound is done. Because of that sense of responsibility, that sense of commitment, that contribution to an overall success of what is going on in that church, that has a way of making, because when people find that they are stakeholders to what is going on in your church, then there is more commitment, there's more contribution, there's consistent participation in worship service, and that's how you're going to secure people from being part of your church. That's how you want to increase your attendance. And so I'm going to just wrap up on the 3 things I said today. Right fit, deploy appropriately, and involve more people into ministry areas. And then adequately plan white spaces, schedule and implement more special Sundays. And then number 10, seek advanced commitment. Okay, advanced commitment, contribution. In the coming year, I need your input in this area. I need your participation in this area. I need your commitment. I need you to be responsible to this area. I need your contributions in this area. Most people who make contributions to certain things that goes on in the church, they are going to give more commitment to whatever happens in that church. And so I want to wrap it up here. Thank you for being part of our broadcast today. Thank you. I can see the comments. Thank you for those who are watching. Let us, if you are watching, please let us know that you're watching by just dropping a comment on the comment section on Facebook. Okay, and so we want to just wrap it up here. Thank you for everyone who has been watching. If this broadcast has been useful to you, if it's been helpful to you, please give us a like. Share it out to a community, share it out to a pastor, share it out to a worker, make a comment, drop a comment. I love to read from you. I respond to all my comments. I respond to all my feedbacks. So please, you have a question, please reach out to us, drop a comment. We do consultations, we do trainings, we do strategic blueprints for churches, planning for churches. Reach out to us. We can help your church to move from where it is right now to where it should be in God. And so don't die in silence. Let's see how we can help your church move from where it is. Please like our social media handle, share us out, give us a comment. You got a question, let us know. Till I come your way next week, Monday, for a continuation from number 11. Please feel free. The part 1 to 3 is on Facebook page, it's on YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, please share this video out, subscribe, put on the notification bell so that when we come again with a good video, you'll be able to notify. So I say bye-bye. God bless you. See you.